All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Zane, June the 27th, 2025. How about that? Good to have you all in here. It's the 319th edition of Speaking of Zane since we started way back in 2018. And we've been going ever since. Been a couple of weeks since we were last together, and it's probably going to be a couple of weeks again because I'm going to be doing some traveling. More about that in a minute, but it is good to have you all in here. My dad's in there, Matt Marine, Lori is in there. Lori's home right now. Lori has been with our daughter Hannah, who has a 1-month-old baby girl called Nyla. So Lori has been there, but Lori came home a couple of days ago, and she's here now. I think she may be going back to help Hannah out a little bit more this week. But let's see who else is in there. Carl is in there from Warsaw, Missouri. Carl told me he lives about 20 miles off the end of the runway at Whiteman Air Force Base. So you can imagine what he was able to witness yesterday and returning today. Daryl is in there. Jimbo Miller's in there. Good to have you all in there on June the 22nd. Boy, I tell you, the summer is screaming on past. We have been pretty warm here in South Georgia. No surprise this time of year. South Georgia, North Georgia. No surprise this time of year. I think we've been touching 90. Not as warm as others, but you can definitely tell it is June. But since we missed last week, happy belated Father's Day to all, and hope it was an enjoyable day for all the fathers out there and for all of those celebrating fathers. I got some nice posts and calls and gifts and all kind of stuff. I've not been the best father over the last 40 years, but it is my favorite title, being a father. Actually, I take that back. That it comes in a very close second to grandfather. Oh, but I love the kids, love the grandkids. But I hope you all had a good Father's Day. It was great to be home for 10 straight days. I'm home, which is odd because I've been, over the last 6 weeks or so, been in and out 4 weeks of those. So it was nice to have a stretch where I was home and sort of catching up on a few things and getting myself in a position to be gone again. My most recent journey took me out to San Diego, which I love. Beautiful weather, of course. Had a wonderful time. I was staying in a hotel that my room looked right out over into Petco Park, where the Padres play. So that was fun. But it was a good week. I had one primary goal for being in San Diego. It was in alignment with a tech conference that I often attend. But my company and our partner, Cisco, had a little social gathering between military veterans of our two companies, and it was a lot of fun coordinating that. And the weather was beautiful. We got a place outside, and there were between 50 and 60 of us veterans in the group between my company and our partner and some of our customers. So it was a success. The trip, I did do some other things while I was out there. We have a booth in the event, and I manned the booth and did some other things there. I got to see a lot of my old friends from over the last 30 years or so, which is always fun. But I mentioned that Lori is home. Our little granddaughter is a month old now, and I just got a text message from her dad, Kaleem. He says she's weighing 8 pounds today, he said. And, so that's about 3 pounds up from where she was. So I know she's eating, sleeping, and pooping, which is what I like to do. But it's typical of a newborn. But beautiful weather. I mentioned here. It's been warm, but it's not been overly humid. Got all the yard work done. Got some housework done. Getting myself positioned to be on the road for a little bit here. But I did watch some Braves games over the last few days, and unfortunately, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins this weekend. But still enjoy watching them. I did enjoy the College World Series. I watched probably the last. Of course, it only took LSU 2 games to win. It's 2 out of 3 in that final, and they won today. But I did watch a few of the other games before that. But Omaha is always great for College World Series, and I've been to many College World Series games and hope to go to many more in the future. Well, let's see. This week, I'm actually leaving tomorrow afternoon and going to Las Vegas again. I was just there in May. We're having a big gathering there, our company, all of our leaders, and I'll get there tomorrow evening. And we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be home Thursday night, and should be a good gathering of all of the leaders from our company from all over the globe. So it'll be fun. Get back Thursday evening. It was the quickest I could get home. And then I'm leaving Friday. I'm going from Atlanta to, I think, where am I going? Atlanta to Newark to Rome, Italy, not Rome, Georgia, Rome, Italy, where I'm meeting my daughter, Charlotte. And then we're going from there to Copenhagen. And then we're going to spend the next 9 or 10 days going from Denmark and Sweden and Finland and Estonia. And she's got all kind of excursions and things planned for us over maybe a 9 or 10 day period. So I get home at like 8 o'clock Thursday night, and I'm on a plane Friday morning about 10. So I got less than a 12-hour turnaround. I'm not complaining, but it's going to be a quick one. I'm trying to pack for that trip already, in addition to the trip tomorrow. But Charlotte's already going to be in Rome for work, and so I'm going to meet her there, and then we're going to fly from there to Copenhagen. And then she's got us she's got our week planned out, so it should be a good time. She's a great travel buddy. We like to do a lot of similar things like food tours and excursions and different stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. And then we'll get back on about July the 10th, I think. We're coming back. I don't know where I'm coming back from or where I'm coming to, but we'll figure that out down the road. But I'll get home around the 10th of July, and then I've got a few days home before heading to London for, I think, 10 days. July the 13th, I think, the night of the 13th, I'll fly over, and then I'm there for almost 2 weeks, 10 days, I think, and Lori's going to join me over there somewhere along the way. Not quite sure exactly which days yet, but that's always a good trip. I got a lot of great things planned over there. I've mentioned this before. I've got a lot of work stuff to do, but I'm going to also do the Running to Honor 5K over there. I've worked with our friend Aaron to get all the race kit ordered, 30 enough for 30 people, and we're going to do a race in Amsterdam the first week, and then we're going to do London the second week. And I've got all that playing out right now, and it should be great. Looking forward to reporting on all of that and sharing pictures and raising awareness. And we're going to talk about this year. The Running to Honor is all about the war in Afghanistan this year, and we're going to do it first in Amsterdam. I've got colleagues there, and I'm bringing some folks from London over, and we're going to talk about the losses that the U.S. the UK and the Dutch have had in Afghanistan, and it should be a good activity there. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, Lori's going to join me there. And I think we're going to do the race in London on the 22nd, I believe. But the actual race that's held physically in Michigan is going to be on Saturday the 26th, I think it is. Yeah, Saturday the 26th. So we'll actually have the race done before the actual race, but it all has to do with timing. And it all has to do with raising awareness about those that step up and write the blank check, and those that we've lost on the battlefield and off, and raising awareness. And then all the money that we raise, Aaron does good work with it. He has helped the local VFW that he's a member of. He does other organizations in the Michigan area. Just a worthy, just a grassroots worthy initiative. And because we learned about Aaron through one of Zane's battle buddies up there, we've become friends now, and I feel like what a worthy cause for us to adopt, and that's what we've been doing there. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Do a little quick roll call. There's my cousin Toby. Carl's talking about the E450th. Yeah, I think the Fourth Axe and the SAC-ACA just had a reunion there in Omaha, and I know the E450th is coming up. And there's PJ there. He's live from Omaha. So PJ, I can't tell if you're moving from Florida to Hawaii or if you're moving from Florida to Omaha. I try to follow and connect the dots there, and I'm a little uncertain, but I imagine you will always be spending time in Hawaii if your past decade or more is any indication. But good to have you in there. Yeah, Lori says some of our local friends here in the Atlanta area will be doing the run on the 26th. We may be back. We may do it again on the 26th, Lori. We'll be back. We'll be back from London. So theoretically, Lori and I, or at least I will do the Running to Honor 5K 3 times in 3 different countries. Wow, that would be probably a first. I'll have to run that past Aaron. Okay, Pete, I got you. I thought that was true. Well, good for you, man. I know you met a young lady out there, and everything appears to be going good for you. Very good. Awesome. Okay, Lori, thanks for validating that. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, Lori, but yeah, so we get to do it again with our local Atlanta friends who have been great over the years on the 26th. How about that? Good stuff. It's going to be hotter than blazes, but that's okay. It's a worthy cause. All right, hat of the week. Hat of the week always has something to do with whatever the heck is going on around here. And on Father's Day, my son-in-law, my new son-in-law, who's a new daddy to our little granddaughter Nyla, got me this ball cap. You can see, I'll do it up real close so you can see. It's got Granddaddy Guy, and it has all of our biological grandkids listed there: Colton, Paisley, Everett, Zaley, Colby, Carson, Nyla. How about that? I think that's 7 of them, and then we have 6 grandkids we've inherited along the way, which we love equally. So that's awesome. John Evol's in there. Johnny, we hope to see you next summer, not this summer, next summer in Michigan for the Running to Honor 5K. Lori's going to be trying to gather up all of Zane's battle buddies for the 10th anniversary of his passing. And there's going to be some special acknowledgement at the Running to Honor 5K in Michigan for Zane. So stay tuned, Johnny, on that. Once we get past this year, we can start planning for next year, but sure would be good to see you again. All right. Well, let's see. We had some military history dates come and go since we were last together. Uh, we had the um, we had the Army's 250th birthday, June the 14th, 1775. So happy birthday to all you soldiers, 250. See you, Peach. All right. And let's see. June the 12th, 2025 was Women's Veterans Day or Women in the Military Acknowledgement. I forget what you call it, but turns out that it acknowledges the 77th anniversary of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act. So that's worth acknowledging. And then, of course, on June the 14th, we had Flag Day, which comes every June. And then on the same day, June 14th, which was also the 250th, also happened to be in the UK, Trooping of the Colour King's birthday parade. So lots of stuff happening between June 12th and June 14th. And there you go. And I've got a lot of friends in the UK, of course, that I work with, and some military veterans. And so we talked about, when we talked about the 250th birthday of the Army, we also talked about Trooping the Colour, which was really cool. All right, well, let's see. How about Veteran Cemetery Channels? Let me tell you what I think I know about our cemetery visits. You know that some time back we started, whenever any of us would visit a veteran cemetery, a national cemetery or a state veteran cemetery, we would just share that with each other and often take pictures. And we've been tracking that now for some number of years. And I know that Daryl has made, since we were last together, to include a visit today, Daryl has made a couple of visits to Jefferson Barracks, where his wife Wanda rests now for 7 years, Daryl, I think. 7 years, I believe. And then my dad and my sis, I always count them for a couple of visits a week. I may be low, a couple of visits a week, and it's been a couple of weeks. And then Lori and I made a visit together to Georgia National Cemetery to visit Zane. We took our little granddaughter Carson with us, and she still really doesn't. She still really doesn't. I don't know. She never knew Uncle Zane. She knows who Uncle Zane is when we talk about it, and we told her. Lori told her that we're going to go see Uncle Zane, and then we're going to go grab some lunch. And she's like, "Oh, great, we get to see Uncle Zane. Is he going to meet us at lunch?" And bless her heart. But when we get there, you know, Lori explains to her about the cemetery and everything. But yeah, she thought we were going to pick him up on the way, and but she's precious. But we had a really good visit. The weather was great, and it's always good to swing by there. I tell you what, it was Father's Day is one of the busiest days at the cemetery. And of course, you have Memorial Day and Wreaths Across America, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. But Father's Day is, there were a lot of folks out there for sure, visiting their fathers and grandfathers. And then Ken, who's not with us tonight, Ken and his wife are up in New York visiting some folks, but he did send me a note today. He made another visit to Cape Canaveral National Cemetery this past week and stopped by and visit our friend George Wellman and another Air Force member that he served with. And then he messaged me today. They're up in Auburn, New York, and they visited Soul Cemetery in Auburn, New York, and where his grandparents rest. And he said he never noticed this before, but right behind where his grandparents are was a World War II Marine Corps veteran. So he took a picture and shared that with me, and I told him I would add it to the list. So Thank you, Ken. We'll look forward to catching up with you next week. Steve Shirley's in there. Steve, did you go to the College World Series game today? It's awful hot out there. I saw Linda. Linda was there, I believe. I did watch it on TV. All right. How about the Think of Vet challenge? If anybody has any thank yous or veteran interactions from the week that you want to throw in the chat, do it right now, and I'll tell you. I had I've lost count exactly, but okay, Jimbo's adding some in there, so Jim, I'll add those, and we'll just add them to this week's list. 9. So I'm counting because I had that gathering. All 50 people I did not get to personally interact with, but probably 30 of them. I probably did with 30 of them. And then I had another 4 outside of that that social gathering. So I'm going to give myself 34. And I'm probably coming up short somewhere. I need to do a better job of tracking, but I'm going to say 34. Jim's got the 9. And if we total that up, that gives us 43 for the week. 43 for the week. Last call. That takes us up to 3,667 since we started tracking. That doesn't mean we're in the business of hunting veterans. That means every time we interact with one, or an active duty service member, or a law enforcement officer, and we have a conversation, or we might shake their hand and say thank you. We track it. Thank you guys for doing that with us. And because of that, and this relatively small group over the years, almost 4,000 of those interactions have occurred. How about that? 4,000 times somebody worthy of it got to hear thank you or got some sort of acknowledgement. All right. Well, let's see. I mentioned running to honor and everything going on with that. I'm excited. I've interacted with Aaron a couple times this week, got him shirt sizes, paid him the money, and he'll be sending all of that to me so I can carry it over to London. I'm not going to make the mistake I did last year. Here's what I did last year. Aaron sent me all the stuff last year. I had about 20 of them, and instead of me carrying, each race kit is a t-shirt, a race bib, a finisher's medal. And instead of me just packing it in a suitcase and taking it with me, I decided to ship it to the office. Well, it didn't get there in time. It finally got there like 2 weeks later. So it just didn't have the same impact, but it was still great, by the way. It was still great, but everybody didn't get their race gear until a couple weeks later. This year, I'm going to take it all with me, even if I have to take a separate bag and everything, and that way I can make sure I get it all there. But anyway, so that'll so I've been working with Aaron to get all that ironed out over this last week, and had some pleasant interactions with our friend Kelly Kowal at My Warriors Place over the last week. She went to a 250th Army birthday bash in Tampa, and it was an unfortunate circumstance. It was the weekend they were having the No Kings thing, and people spit on her van, and it was ugly. I mean, what are people thinking? I mean, geez, here's a Gold Star mother whose husband, or whose father, whose son sacrificed his life for these people, and they're going to spit on her. It's just, the rationale just doesn't make sense to me. But Kelly, you know how good she is, but she pushed through it all and everything. And we need to get back down there. I've got a group of folks. I've told you this over and over again. I got a group of folks over there that want to go do another outing with me, and we just have not been able to work out the calendars and everything. But I know that there's been a lot of work done since the hurricanes, but I know there's always work to be done. So we do need to get back down there, and probably the next available time, the earliest, is sometime in August to get down there. And that's a miserable time to be in Florida. So maybe we'll move it on out into October. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll see how things go. But definitely want to get back down there for sure. We did have a couple of unfortunate incidents where an airman, what's this at? Airman Malik Etienne was found dead. Oh, I know where it was, at in Kirtland Air Force Base, and I don't know the circumstances. That he'd only been married a few weeks, they said, and he was found dead at the Lions Beach campground or something. I don't even know the circumstances, but an airman there at Kirtland. And then, of course, I guess it's been a week and a half or 2 weeks. We lost an Apache pilot, Chief Warrant Officer Dustin Wright, with 101st Airborne, was killed in a helicopter accident training there. I believe they're based in Kentucky, but just sad. And of course, everybody knows that combat is inherently dangerous by definition, but so is training for it. When you train like you fight like you train, accidents happen, and wishing obviously all of our troops that are in harm's way now, and all those that are involved in some of these ongoing engagements that we see, especially the ones last night. Thankfully, everybody's accounted for and back where they started. We've got a lot of troops in the region, thousands of troops in the region, and Iran knows where they're at. So hopefully we've stifled that, but just keep them all in your thoughts and prayers, of course. And then here in the homeland, of course, be vigilant as well. All right, folks. Well, I've got to run now and go pack for my trip tomorrow. And can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming alongside every Sunday night and listening to me talk about Zane and other things. And I look forward to reporting back to you the next time we're together. I don't know when that will be. I might do a couple of quick little live streams on location for wherever Charlotte and I are, but not a full-blown speaking Zane. But I'll let you guys know, and we'll see how it goes. All right, folks. God bless you. Have a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.